MGM.
Good morning, Valko. How's it going?
Pretty good. Had a fun weekend with the friends. Went to a party in a cave. It was great, and we survived.
Nice. It doesn't feel like Monday to me, does it?
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a blur the past couple of days. I got a lot of work done yesterday. Yesterday felt like my Monday personally,
Uh,
but I don't know what type of clock you're on over there in Lisbon.
well, I'm now already in Italy, in fact. But
Oh wow,
yeah, I was actually just thinking. In the past week, I was in 4 countries.
that's amazing.
It's pretty
I
insane.
need to get three more this year, and then I'll have done 30 countries before turning 30. That's my
30
goal.
countries before turning 30. Yeah, well, okay, so you did 26 in your life.
Yeah.
Oh no, 27.
Yeah, exactly. 27, yeah.
27. The good thing with
So I'm
Europe,
close.
once you're in Europe, you can do like, I don't know, 30 countries in a month, if you really want to.
Yeah, exactly. From here, it's like I have to fly to get everywhere.
Yeah. So what would be your 3 dream countries?
Ooh,
Kind of on your to visit list,
man.
and what would be the next?
Honestly, like anything in South Africa region, and then like really anything in South America.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm doing Chile and Colombia later this year. Maybe Argentina as well.
Okay. Also, you are actually going for it. You-
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sending it. I gotta do it.
Very cool. So
I realized I was close. So, at that point, just
when
do
are you
it.
turning 30? December or something?
My birthday is in December.
Oh, nice.
So I have all year.
Are you 90, born in 93?
I'm a 93 baby.
92. So you're like,
You're my
I'm
senior.
turning 31. Yeah.
That's
I look how young we are. I
nice.
mean, listen, 30 is 25 hit me more than 30, if you were to ask me.
Huh. Yeah, 25 was, it's quarter of a century. It's kind of that first big milestone that's not like a really cool one, like 21 in the States you can drink.
Uh,
And yeah.
well, I mean, my way of the reason why 25 hit me because I was thinking like, okay, it's a quarter of a life. But then
Hmm.
that day I kind of paused and I was like, well, wait a second. Most people do not live till 100, right? And then
Yeah,
I was like, shit,
exactly.
maybe 20 was the quarter of a life. And I'm like way further than I actually think you are. And that's when you
Yeah.
kind of realize that shit, life is in fact pretty short. So you might as well, take the most out of it, like at the moment. So,
Yeah, I've been trying to spend as much time with my friends and family and like my older
yeah,
friends and family too, grandparents, parents and stuff like that. It's important
yeah.
trying to turn them into Bitcoin maxis.
Who your older family?
Yeah, I love talking to the older people about crypto. They have a lot of them have a pretty tremendous curiosity about it, because I don't know, it's not as easy or familiar for them to learn about it, but a lot of them trust me and they got millions of questions, man. It's pretty fun. And their questions are always, very fundamental questions, which always make me revisit my own fundamentals, which is a good exercise.
Yeah, yeah, because like to truly understand something, you should be able to explain it to someone who has no clue.
Exactly.
So,
It's hard. Crypto is very hard to explain to anyone.
uh, uh, uh,
So what's new in your world?
so I did Spain, Lisbon. Lisbon was epic. I can tell you more if you want. Then I flew to France for one day, and now I'm in Italy for a wedding. I don't know if you saw my tweet. Yesterday, I had one of those most hilarious tweets ever. Have you seen it? Uh,
I read yeah, the one with the two pictures.
no, oh yeah, that was one of them. But there was the like, let me try to find it and pin it. The one with I bought a castle in Italy. You cannot see,
Yeah.
and then
That's like literally like the epitome of a clickbaity YouTube title.
Yeah, yeah. But I was trying my best, to like make it kind of funny and obvious that it was not the case. I just pinned it. So if you want to like check it out, but it was like, within 3 days, I bought a castle kind of thing. And so, anyway, it was funny. If you read through the comments, it's so funny. It was like, some people had a good joke. Some people were like, outright, congratulations, this is amazing. But it's kind of like, so today I already like formulated the follow-up tweet. I'll be like, thank you for all the kind wishes. But in fact, this was just a joke. I am a broke JPEG collector.
Oh
Cheers.
man. Somebody needs to teach me how to have as much fun on Twitter as you have.
Bro, I'm giving private classes if you want.
Oh man, that's
But sometimes
amazing.
it's a banter, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh, dude, I've always looked at buying. There's so many abandoned castles out in like France and Europe. And they seem like pretty cheap, but I guess the thing is they actually cost you a lot of money to maintain,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're just big liabilities. It's like worse than having a boat.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, this castle that I was at is specialized on weddings, right? And so I
Mhm.
was at a wedding, and in peak season they have between 6 to 10 weddings a month, right?
Oh,
So
whoa.
imagine that in a month you have like 4 weekends. These people sometimes have 10 weddings in a month. So
That's insane. Do people stay there or
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
just,
This
they
was like
sleep
this
somewhere else?
huge thing with like 80 people all staying in the castle. You had a pool, you had a volleyball court, you had like an outdoor kind of vineyard kind of thing, olive oil trees, everything,
Wow.
man. Like, and the thing is, like, there's a lot of weddings, but it doesn't feel like this wedding factory thing. Like, so that you really feel like
Mm-mm.
in Tuscany, Italy, kind of, you get the vibe, and it's all like, I don't know, 15th century old style stuff. And actually, now I'm sitting in Florence staring at this old kind of architecture. It's just amazing. Now I'm in the city.
Oh, man.
So,
Has anybody done like a castle DAO? Like, we are raising 10 million to buy a castle in Italy.
well, so the funny thing, it's funny that you asked because I was speaking to the owner of the castle who is Danish. And, we started grabbing a quick coffee. I ordered a coffee, he's serving me coffee. And then he mentions after like 5 minutes, he's thinking of tokenizing it, right? And I was like, wait, are you into like crypto and NFT? Turns out he's like an ETH and Bitcoin type guy, and he has like crypto teams and NFT teams sometimes staying at the castle, like doing like a team event at the castle. So, for example, that fellas with Betty stayed at this castle a couple of months ago. So, so yeah, I guess it's a popular destination. Lanamour, how's it going?
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Very
What's up?
good, very good.
Are you still in Lisbon?
No, no, I was just telling Valko that now I'm in Italy, in Florence.
Ah,
How about you?
I'm in Ibiza. Saturday morning, I flew to Ibiza for a wedding, and I'm going back to London tomorrow.
Man, it's wedding season. I came to Italy for a wedding.
I've been partying 6 days in a row, so tonight
Hey.
is gonna be the last. For those who know Ibiza, there is a DC10 every Monday called Circo Loco.
Okay.
So most likely gonna do gonna go tonight and yeah, go back to reality in London.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah.
also a pre-sale of a shitcoin called Mass
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Barcella
that is
doing that now.
run by Barcella, Brainy, Mijay, and a lot of punks actually. You guys should try to get it to jump on it. Quite some big profile on it, but shitcoin is not for everybody. So
So what's the deal on that? Because I follow Barcella a lot and I see him posting. But what's the
I
pitch
think
on
it's
that?
just there is no pitch, man. I think it's just a shitcoin. Like
No, because
literally,
last
how
week
long
there
is
was
gonna be the pump?
last
Last
week
week,
was
what was that?
copium. It was copium, right?
Copium was a few weeks ago.
Or 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, yeah. But that was also the Brainy crew, no?
It was, I think it was Mijay.
Yeah.
She's, but Brainy was helping a bit. Mijay is the guy who did well on he created a coin called Sponge that went like to all the way to 100 million market cap, like
Wow.
when he was shitcoin madness like a month ago. But yeah, I don't know, obviously, non-financial advice because 90% of the time it's a pump and dump. How long the pump's gonna last for? That's the question. But no, to Lisbon was a blast.
Man, it was
Uh,
so good. But were you at the Punks brunch? I didn't see you there. Did I see you
I
there?
think yeah, I think you said hi. I think you said hi.
Ah, okay. But
I'm
did you
pretty
stay?
sure. I
Okay,
stayed for
yeah.
an hour.
Ah, so you didn't stay that long. Okay, okay.
I had a glass of orange juice and I caught up with Old City, Mullet,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
uh, BBA. I mean, it was cool. A lot of people were there. VR Punk was there as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I I, I saw most of the punks at the Particle party, the Agoria parties with the DJ set
Ah,
and
yeah, dude, that was
Thursday night.
insane. That was insane. It was so cool.
So my friend organized. The guy was doing Particle, Harold. He brought this alien, the sculpture. I don't know if you had the chance to see it. It was quite epic.
Was that the one in the main event, in the main venue?
Yeah, there was one room where there was this alien
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sculpture.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But oh, that was fun. It was only the second time I was going to Lisbon, and it's a very cool city.
Yeah,
A lot of crypto funds are based there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I honestly think
What?
between Paris, London, and Lisbon, these events that I did, I think I met all the European punks in person.
Yeah, yeah, same.
I think
I think so.
this time round, the first time I met was Mullet. I met Ananas. I met Bartasian. I met who else did I meet first time? Uh,
I Chuli wasn't there this time, but I met Chuli in Paris
yeah, I met
in
Chile in
February.
Paris. Oh, I met Nifty Knot for the first time.
In Lisbon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nifty Knot.
Oh shit! I didn't
He
know
was
was there.
there. He was there at the Punks Bunch. I met Raster Eye. I met Raster Eye for the first time in person.
I
So
met the guy who was doing I think Masna, the guy who was doing the graphic.
yes, yes, yes. Ah, Mazna is epic.
Were you at the
Uh,
closing party on the beach?
no, no, no. So I left one day earlier. I met Dudley for the first time.
Ma-
Uh,
i- Did it
so,
did it make you bullish on JPEGs and Punk
what do you
or
mean? Like
more on Punks?
meeting? Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, Punks is just such a cool community. It's like, I met, who did I meet? What's his name? Ray's. I met Ray for the first time. And, yeah, he had a nice NTIF pendant. So yeah, no, super cool.
That, was- that, there was Farrak. I hanged out with him quite a bit
Yeah,
because
Farrokh
I was
as
actually
well.
with London. We did a big party in London with Farrak and Sid Fraser the weekend before at the Box. It was quite fun. And
That place is insane.
the one in London, you've been?
Yeah,
Yeah, man, it was.
and New York.
We were like quite a big group of punks. We had a table and stuff, and we ended up like it was like we're a bunch of savages. And Farrak is quite a machine because the guy after that he went to Paris and then Lisbon and this and that and I don't know, man. Quite bullish on people like joining and taking flights every 2 months to hang out with. It's a true community, in a true sense. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
experienced that before in my life. You know, when I was a kid,
Now we need our own clubhouses now.
I was thinking about that. We truly need sort of, I don't know, we have to find like sort of like a WeWork but for punks,
Yeah,
but it would go
honestly, I
very well
think
with
will
what
be
you're doing.
amazing. And I'm biased because I'm in the East Coast area, but Larva Labs is out of Brooklyn, New York. I
Mhm.
think if CryptoPunk got like a warehouse, kind of clubhouse in Brooklyn, New York, that would be epic. And then we move from there copy the model to all the other major cities.
Yeah, we need
Probably London next,
we
and
need
then
the
LA.
we need one in all the major hubs, like one one New York, one LA, one London or Paris, and then we start from there. We can, I'm pretty sure we can replicate a sort of a WeWork model, but where we took truly take the lease risk. Like WeWork collapsed
Totally.
because they took like 25 billions lease liabilities over the next 3 years. But if we find a way to get funded and actually buy the real estate at a good price, then it's just gonna be expenses to run the place, and that would be crazy. That would be really crazy.
There is a punk that's starting his own club in um in London. I forget his name and I forget the name of his club, but he may be giving punk some sort of access. I'll try to find that.
Oh,
But I remember
please
DMing
do.
him. Yeah. It seems like to be like a really nice, like, I mean, London has so many like eating clubs and drinking clubs, but this one I think is supposed to be a little bit more crypto focused.
Yeah. The and how is it going? I like your initiative to create sort of a CryptoPunk community driven advisory business that would that would be that's amazing. That's an amazing idea. I think it has a
Yeah, no,
lot of potential.
it's been going great. I did a lot of thinking, and initially what I wanted to do was like just like we have the punks roundtable and we get people around to talk about whatever's happening in Web3. I thought, what if there was like a DAO or a community chat where anybody could come in and easily ask punk questions, and they pay for membership to have this privilege, and then the payments get split up amongst the punks, and it's pretty much like a consulting firm model, right? Two sided. You have punks on one side, and you have customers or clients on the other side. And I pitched that idea to a few people and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so cool. Like I would love to pay, $50 a month to be in a group chat with like 10 really smart crypto punks or frankly just really smart people on Web3." Because everybody wants mentors and it's hard to find mentors in a space that's like totally remote and online. That's why we all go to these events is to connect with people. So that was kind of the initial idea. But what I've been thinking through more is, I want to create something that's even more flat, I guess, of an organization and not so two sided like consultant client. I want it to be very, very peer based. Like, everybody in this community is an equal. And some add more value than others. Others are just more like participants and ask questions, which is its own form of value. And so what I've actually been experimenting with in the V3 collective, which like Drew in the room and Mr. Snow are in. I know Forever Punk, you're in there. I think Lion and Moore, you're in the V3 collective as
I
well.
mean, there. I mean, there
Um,
haven't been very active, but I've been recently. I joined the link you sent, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
keen I'm keen to participate and be more active.
Yeah, so
Really, really
I'm
like the idea.
experimenting now with like basically a method to, incentivize the community to bring in quality members and also incentivize the community to participate and add value on a daily basis. So, um, rather than me having to be the single person providing value, I want everybody to, on a peer to peer basis, advise one another. So, what we've implemented in the last 2 weeks, it's nothing that crazy. It's pretty much just a basic karma system like on Reddit, but without the downvotes. So, you can react to people's messages in Discord with the electric bolt emoji, and it kind of tracks your reputation. And that's the beginning kind of foundational metric that we're going to be used.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this karma tool from Reddit. I'll have to check it out. Never
Well, just
tried.
karma, like on Reddit, like upvotes and downvotes, that's how Reddit's whole
Okay.
system is built, right? So we copied that with our own bot in Discord to have basically a
Oh,
reputation for users. And it's based on basically your peers determine, excuse me, what your reputation is. And the next level of that is actually measuring the value of newly referred members as well, but measured by your peers. And that way we can start to incentivize basically like at a very fundamental level, building a strong and engaged community, but we're measuring it based on peers. Now, there's tons of ways it can be gamified. It's absolutely not on chain. It's totally centralized at the moment, but it's an experiment and we're having a lot of fun with it. But I think down the road, we start to have basically, a better way to potentially distribute funds in a DAO to pay contributors. That's kind of what I'm getting toward. It's like a citizen score almost.
Yeah. And so Valko, quick question on that. Adding value would be just like, I don't know, a good comment or a helpful link or something, or what do you mean by adding value to the collective?
It's frankly for the collective to decide, not me. But if people react to your post with the electric bolt emoji, your reputation goes up. Now, of course, we have a very singular and clear mission, which is to build an army of Web3 solopreneurs. That's what we want to do because we think with that approach, we can accelerate blockchain adoption and we can also shape the future of work, right? Where it's like a two-pronged approach. On one end, we're fighting for freedom via accelerating blockchain adoption and having a bunch of people start their own little Web3 companies. On the other side, by having a bunch of single person Web3 businesses, solopreneurs, we're also shaping the future of work, which is another way to basically fight for freedom. I say the overarching motif here is like freedom on the digital frontier, as I would call it. I like to say that instead of metaverse, but just freedom on the internet, freedom in the world. And we're creating that by building an army of Web3 solopreneurs. So value is ideally measured against, are you creating value towards that mission or not? But of course, the internet works in strange ways. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Bodie McBoatface when they asked, there was like an AMA or some poll on Twitter. They asked, hey, or sorry, on Reddit, name our boat. And the internet had a field day and decided on a name for a real boat called Bodie McBoatface. Sometimes you just can't control the internet. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't get a bunch of high reputation value add comments for just posting like the word penis or something, but you never know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It could be maybe interesting to add, like, I don't know, some financial incentive as well. I don't know, like someone with the most lightning balls, like maybe even a coin or something. Have you thought of something like
Yeah.
that?
I mean, there's a lot of things we can do. I'm still thinking about what the carrot at the end of the stick could and should be. Frankly, right now, it's just like the score. And people are,
Mm,
engagement has picked up a lot since we implemented the reputation system because
mm,
people want to prove that they're valuable members. And people who are valuable members are proud of their score.
mm.
But yeah, we'll
I
see
think
about
that I
financial
think I think I
metrics.
think I think we would at the end of the day we just want to find whether it's a corporate or whether it's not institutional client, but find a client, do a first project, and from there we're gonna shape and reshape and refine the model. But I'm very
Mhm.
excited to try and find a client for could be a small Web3 project, and then start from there and build this like solopreneur advisory model. Super cool idea.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think we're moving into a world of like poly mentorship and peer-based mentorship, as opposed to like you have one mentor for all of your things. You have many, and in some instances, you also mentor them.
So Valko, here's an idea. Blur, they have this ranking table for those that, Blur farm and collect coins, right? So it's like a
Okay.
coin-based system. And I always see NFT statistics sometimes post his tweets that, oh, I did this lending and I got this many points. And now I'm position 60 of the Blur, whatever table. And it's kind of like a fun competitive game to kind of track, where you're on the Blur kind of rankings table. And have you thought maybe of doing something similar for your lightning bolts? I don't know. This is the person on top with the most lightning bolts
Yeah, no,
and
we
all the way
have it.
down.
We have it. It's
Okay, okay.
if you're in and you do slash all time, it shows cumulative all time zaps or reputation
Okay,
points.
okay,
We just
okay.
call them zaps. And then there's a weekly one that resets every Sunday at like midnight Eastern time. And the
Yeah.
idea with the weekly one is like you don't want new members to like pale in comparison of all-time members. So it's a way for everybody to be kind of measured on a weekly basis. And I think what I'm going to transition it to is probably like a rolling 7-day average instead of like a cutoff every Sunday. And then yeah, we'll see. There might be rewards after it. I'm thinking about.
So I'm just brainstorming out loud here, but Blur has this token, right? And I wouldn't call that a shitcoin per se, but it has some value, and people are like gaining these Blur points to get that token. So maybe you guys could, I don't know, do some sort of I
Oh,
don't know
for sure.
what
I mean,
or
heck, we could just have an emission schedule where whoever is in
yeah,
the
something
number one
cool.
spot or the top 10 spots every week gets a small portion of some
Exactly,
ERC-20 that
exactly,
eventually
exactly.
is, the governance token. I don't care about money. It's like getting a token out is a very core thing to having a DAO. You need
Yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah.
vote with. And this is a way to get it in the hands of people that we deem, quote, valuable.
Or yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think that's something interesting there, because you have all these shit coins that have no utility, that is just casino. But if you come up with something cool where people like rally around, could be interesting, I think.
Yeah, no, I think next steps will be a mix of like, it would be cool to get to a governance token at some point. I don't know how soon or far away that is. I want to do like token gating for the Discord. I want to get my early OGs like lifetime access passes. But I also want to avoid just giving those to people who are just going to flip them and sell them, because if that's what they're going to do, they shouldn't get it in the first place. So I'm thinking about the right way to give some of my OGs lifetime passes and then transition probably to a paid model, because if I really want to provide recurring value and step away from my consulting to go all in on this mission, like that's going to take resources, not just for my time, but for everybody's time on the team. So I think to provide recurring value, you almost always need recurring revenue, and almost no NFT or crypto
Yeah, yeah,
projects
yeah.
have solved that.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, subscriptions, as much as people might hate them, like the business model evolved to a subscription based model for a reason. It's because it's like a superior business model from a cash flow and business revenue predictability standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe switching bit gears here. Lanamour, you're French, correct?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen I'm sure you've all seen, last week you had Louis Vuitton announce their drop,
Yeah.
and you had all this kind of controversy with the influencers posting threads. I found it hilarious last week. You
Yeah.
had
Didn't
Pharoah
People
Alex's
have
Twitter
Trey.
get compromised in the middle of all this too?
Yeah, at the beginning I was actually DM'd by that guy. Yeah. But so Lanamour, what's
people.
your take on all this?
My take is that because I went through this onboarding big corporate into Web3, and also going through like the creation of their crypto wallet that has to be regulated, blah blah blah. It's such a pain, it's such a hassle that it's really a great step. Given that LVMH is probably I think it's in the top 10 largest market cap company in the world. Maybe
Oh
nah,
wow, okay. Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I'm too bullish, but I think it's like 200 billion or 250 billion euros market cap,
Yeah.
which is by far the largest um, luxury company in the world, and Louis Vuitton being their flagship and one of the probably their most profitable entities. So it's a big thing. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I can
and
hear you.
I think I don't know to which extent they're going to be able, and to which extent they're going to be successful to onboard some of their VIP customers. But I just look at the bright side, and for me, it's just a plus, just a positive, because obviously the target market for this is really not crypto native people. You can tell, and I think people are just jealous of some influencers. So yeah, for me, it's not even a debate. For me, it's just a good thing happening in the space, given the market conditions. We can just be happy that they're embracing and trying initiative in the NFT space. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's
I'm
such
not
a
I'm
good.
not the target market myself. I'm never gonna. I'm not sure I want to spend 40K. Maybe it
Well,
will end up being a
you bought
good
the
thing,
end
but
tip, so you bought the end tip, so there's
I,
some
bu- I
fun
bought
there.
it. I bought it before a flip, which I did. So I broke even in the end. But no, I don't have the pendants. I don't have it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think
So
it's
so
good.
so what's this Louis Vuitton drop? It's a box for 40K or what?
So I understood. I read it very quickly because I was still hungover from the Lisbon thing. But from what I understood, it's a soulbound token that, and you'll get airdropped. It's a mix of physical and virtual stuff, and there's going to be some activations down the line. I'm not the best to talk through it because but I'm definitely gonna read it again. Actually, I read a couple of thread about it. I'm gonna read it more carefully. But the true question is to really like to see how they're communicating about it. Louis Vuitton. So, are they looking at it is it just a way for them to onboard and to onboard like us as like NFT slash crypto people, or is it like a way to bring some of their client and into the it's always blurry, but you know gives a good it's good headlines in the luxury industry. Louis Vuitton doing this NFT initiative, it cannot hurt, to be honest. So people should be more grateful than like just hating on on the influencers that made like some money on promoting it. So yeah, and look at the bright side of things.
Yeah. No, I mean personally, I was like reading through those threads, and I think it's good to get Louis Vuitton the name in. But the threads themselves, they didn't feel authentic. Like I read through Farouk's thread, and I was like, no way he wrote these words. It was literally just like some guy sent over like this is what you should post from your Twitter, and that's
Oh
it.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I
but
mean,
Yeah, for
that's
they
sure.
stupid.
clearly had a good strategy. They identified the big Web3 influencers, and they definitely reached out to them. They reached out to Betty. They reached out to Farouk probably, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's how
And
this space
I
goes
think
around.
it's
That's how
I
the
think
word
it's
gets
Sid
out.
Phrase who did the Sid Phrase was also doing this. He told me on
Yeah, there was Sid phrase as well. But so
yeah.
my issue was like they just didn't write it themselves. Like if you're writing a thread, just put it in your own words, kind of. Like it was very much.
But you cannot really. I guess they have some they're I don't know the contracts, but I'm sure they have to. But yeah, it would
Yeah,
be maybe it would be more appealing for us if it was more was a different lingo. But I mean,
yeah.
I'm not touching those things because the bar is very high. I think it's what, like 20 is
I don't
even
know.
more. Yeah. But obviously very excited and I look at it because it can be, it can be it could be a good case study, and we will have to hope and fingers crossed it goes well. So more big corporate like them get deeper into the
Well,
space.
speaking of another company that just dipped their toes last week into Web3, I don't know if you saw Mercedes-Benz's first NFT drop.
Wait, what?
Oh
No,
no.
I missed that. I'm
So
a
it was
big
it was
Mercedes guy.
so I actually bought one. It was a 1,000 piece drop they did together with an artist. I'm just like trying to find it, and point 25 ETH. It was just a simple 1,000 piece artwork. Let me see if I can find the Twitter. And well, basically, I'm just following some wallets, and I picked one up because I saw they were buying, and and then they'll do two more kind of follow up art drops, but just they're dipping their toe in. Like Mercedes Benz for me, and especially here in Europe, is like a big name. Why not just pick up a? Let me see if
Yeah.
I can
I mean,
if I can
I think there
find
are
the.
two things that these luxury brands are seeing. I mean, LVMH high level in a world that's increasingly digital. if they can't make that transition, it's it's like, it'll destroy their entire company, like, in the long term, right? If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
stay rooted in the physical world forever and they don't find a way to sell their luxury products in the metaverse, as it were, that's how they go out of business. That's how they get, like, AOL'd and Yahoo'd and whatever.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think they're seeing that, and maybe they're early, maybe they're late. It's hard to say. The market will ultimately determine that, but it's an acknowledgement of the longer term trend of the digitization of things and the dawn of the metaverse and owning digital items in addition to just physical items. But um, I think the other thing at play here, is there's a hierarchy of kind of social graphs or brand to customer connections out there in the world, and at the very top of the hierarchy is almost always your paid members. They're part of some paid club, and it's directly run by you. It's not through some other app or some other platform. That's where you have the most diehard, strongest fans. Then right under that, it's like email lists. Email lists are really strong for a number of reasons, but most importantly, like emails a protocol. You have direct access to these people. It's not owned by Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. And then the social hierarchy, like drops off further and further. Like Twitter's pretty good because it's all these little like it's feels decentralized, almost more like an RSS feed. And then you kind of go down and down and down the list until the connection with the fan is way less direct and way less like bandwidth in that connection, as it were. Now, I think what they're identifying here is that what might be the new top of the hierarchy is an on-chain connection with customers, because that is the most decentralized and direct way that a celebrity can connect with a fan or whatever. Like one thing I've always had success with talking to people about on understanding the on-chain social graph is exactly this. It's like, well, do you acknowledge that email connections are really important, that newsletters are really important, that even mailing people stuff in the physical mail is very important? They're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, like blockchain is like that same essence of those ideas, but built for the next 100 years. And then people start to get it a little bit.
Yeah, tend to agree, but it's hard to get into this stuff. That's what I still believe. Like I was at this wedding, I was speaking to some guys. They've heard of it. Like everyone has heard of crypto at this point, but if they're to hop into it, it's still not
I
easy.
think, I think and so if you think about it, Tiffany was acquired by LVMH 4 years ago now. No, I think 3 years ago now. So yeah, see, it's not LVMH first attempt into Web3, because Tiffany was not such a big initiative, but it was I think it was a classy way to enter the space. I think they were pretty happy with both the customers and people were mostly happy about it. And Valko, to get back to your point on how to how to communicate and how to address and how to showcase new product to customers. I think you're right, and we're getting into you know this world where everything's getting more and more fragmented, and you know you have to look at it like as a not a target market, but as you have to look at it as you have to address your market to your product and your market as if they were like a tribe, and you have to really things are getting really fragmented and putting into different segments, and the on-chain protocol that will allow you to reach out directly in a smooth way to all those different tribes with a different and a tailor-made and a tailor-made speech and communication was gonna get a lot of share in whatever market they're trying to address. But Discord is a good example. Big corporate, I think some big ones understand that Discord is a good way and a good new way to communicate to the new generations. And but nothing on chain. It's fully centralized if you think about it. But it's a good first step. But let's see how they play it. I don't think to get back to what you say forever. I think you're right. It's not properly addressed to in a way they're not using the proper lingo that we've been using here in this NFT slash crypto native people, but at the same time, they also want to keep their brand identity. So it's a bit tricky. I'm not sure who's advising them, but it's good for them because must be a big contract. So do we know the supply of this already? Try to understand how much they're trying to raise.
I don't know. I have to also look into it more.
Okay.
But on your point about centralization versus decentralization, last week there was this day, I don't know if you guys remembered, where nearly all of crypto Twitter got shadow banned on Twitter. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Of course.
And there were like rumors circulating that, oh, it's because US is cracking down on crypto and this is part of it, blah blah blah. And then like within a day, like the shadow ban was raised. Like I was shadow banned, everyone else in NFT Lisbon. I don't know you guys if you saw it yourself, but
Yeah, I was as well.
but it's like what
I
did
think
we do? We did nothing, right? Kind of, and then all your work you put into building like an online entity is just
Oh
cut
yeah.
off.
No, that's it. That's the horrors of centralization right there. That was my immediate thought. I was like, oh, good thread idea. And yeah, nothing ever.
I,
took
wi-
it.
I wish sure they were targeting just crypto people, or was it just like
I don't know.
There
big
were other
accounts?
people. I have a friend who's not, he like has some crypto, but his Twitter account is not at all crypto branded, but he is kind of in the same pools as the crypto people, like the social pools. Like he follows a bunch of crypto people. So I don't
Mm.
know how he got swept up in it, but he is one specific, uh, I don't know, account I know that is not a crypto account that also did get shadow banned.
And then you had accounts that
Okay.
did not get shadow banned. For example, Farouk's account I checked was not shadow banned. So it was not like an exact 100% just crypto, but it was just weird, like what the fuck,
Yeah, no, you hate to see that. And, meanwhile, I'm still not using any of the platforms I know are a better alternative. Like, I'm not using like Mastodon or Blue Sky or Lens really. I should though. I know Lens just raised 15 mil like last week. So I'm not sure
Wow.
what the use of funds are there, but I imagine that pretty soon here they'll have a pretty compelling like Lens V2 coming out. Because I think there's still a lot of work that has to be done for getting Lens more ready for decentralized organizations, right? Because it's never just one person manning the ropes at an account, right? Like DAOs have presences, and you need to like find ways for the entire DAO to contribute to that. And so I hope that that is on their radar, and I imagine it is because of the teams I've had the pleasure of meeting IRL. Those guys like they believe in decentralization, in my opinion, for the right reasons. Not just for the, hey, this helps us raise money reasons. Like they actually get it. And that's very evident with the way that their team has built Aave. And it's very evident with the way that their team is building Lens. And so I'm really excited to see what the use of funds for this $15 million goes towards. Hopefully there's a couple of cool parties for us. Len's always is a great host at all the events. But I'd love to see some pretty cool R&D spend there too.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to maybe have a guy that tells us more about it, who's deeper into because the thing with lenses, I hear it like here and there sometimes, but I never actually like dug into it.
Yeah. No, my friend is works there, so maybe I can get her to join. She's an absolute killer and definitely a close friend. Whenever I go travel around the world to crypto conferences, I almost always run into her. Totally
Yeah.
unplanned. She's
Well,
really
what's
cool.
her name? Do I know?
Christina. Yeah, you can find her. She's like head of BD there.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of R&D,
Yeah.
did you see any of the recent innovations with BRC-30 or recursive ordinals? It's
Uh,
like on my reading list for today.
I have not absolutely not.
I'm really,
Right here.
I'm really behind on BRC-20 and inscriptions and ordinal and I need to dig into it more. I'm sure there's some this market. From what I've seen, I've seen some metrics. Seems like it's been growing and growing. In terms of people working on it, and also in terms of apparently there are like some wallets that now works perfectly. Because when I was looking at it in January, February, basically the wallet was an Excel sheet. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, they're having to overcome some pretty severe technical limitations of Bitcoin. Because when I first came across ordinals to, inscribe your own thing, you needed your own node running at home, which like I don't have. So I guess I'm a bad decentralized citizen. But that was a technical headache for me as somebody who's been in the space and overcome, other technical barriers in the past. So, but then like when I did more research, I found out like, okay, you can buy these things, but it all has to be done via private transactions. There was no trustless way to buy an NFT basically. And they've solved that. And so now the recent headline, I pinned it, is this BRC-30. Um, it's like BRC-20s, but with like superpowers, namely the ability to stake the tokens. So they seem to have like a really talented team. I know Leonidas is a big thought leader. He's a developer himself in that space, and obviously a very accomplished historical NFT collector and historian. He spreads the good word about historic NFTs too, which I really like about his content. But ever since Ordinals kind of came out, he's been really latched onto that because he views, the Bitcoin block space as like an even harder medium than Ethereum. And obviously, like Bitcoin is more decentralized than Ethereum in a lot of ways. Not saying, Bitcoin's the future of NFTs or anything, but it's been pretty cool to watch this like team of contributors, just cooperate together on their own open source things. Like, a lot of open source projects have like, I think, one core team that does all the heavy lifting. But from what I can see, the Ordinals thing actually has like a pretty ripe open source developer community around it that's solving really challenging problems that are just inherent with Bitcoin's, you know, tech stack. And this is one of the more recent innovations. And then if you guys want another cool thread, I won't talk on it because I don't understand it yet and I haven't read it. But Leonidas wrote this other thread about recursive um, inscriptions. So I think those are the two latest advancements with ordinals. And yeah, I'm kind of like you. I don't know. I need to really read up on them. Like it's kind of one of those things that you don't read up on, then you get so far behind, you sort of feel late to the party, and then it perpetuates like not reading about it even more. It's some weird form of educational procrastination or laziness. But yeah, I think I need to sit down for 2 or 3 hours and just dive in. Or heck, we'll just have Leonidas join us here to teach us, share his wisdom on ordinals with us.
And that'd be cool. I don't know Leonidas personally, so definitely would be cool to have him up.
The only other cool update I heard from today. So there's the BRC-30s that do ordinals staking, basically, or sorry, BRC-20 staking. I think you can stake the BRC-20 or Bitcoin to receive BRC-30. So it's just allowing kind of depositing, withdrawals, and like minting sort of functionality. But the other development I saw today, unrelated to Bitcoin, was that LooksRare is apparently doing some big punks raffle. Do you guys see that?
Which one? Because I know there's one punk being raffled away.
Yeah.
Purple hair or crazy hair, whatever you call it. But that's not looks rare. Which one is the looks rare one?
It's this I just pinned it. It's Punk 7941.
No, I
And
haven't.
I guess I mean, it's probably just like a marketing and growth thing, but
Yeah.
maybe there's some new chain link feature because this tweet says, thanks to chain link, you can verify that the outcome is 100% fair. So I don't know if they're experimenting with some new giveaway feature, but yeah, if people want to win a free CryptoPunk.
Oh wow,
I
yeah.
mean, do your own research, but I'm pretty sure that this is a legitimate link. But of course, be careful always.
And this came out 1 hour ago. This
Yeah,
tweet.
I got it from Not Warren's like daily summary this morning.
Ah. No, you mean Warren himself.
Yeah, yeah.
There's those two are pretty confusing. I actually met Mike in person in Lisbon again. I love that guy. He's so good. And we were talking about how he actually builds those daily summaries, and he said he has like a whole team, and they have like common Slack channel, and then they always throw the stuff in there, and then there's one guy on the team who then picks all the summaries and just put the tweet out.
Wow.
So
We
yeah,
should
it's
really
pretty.
use that for our agendas here.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty nice to actually speak to these people behind the accounts in
So
person.
is that his
It's
main thing, or is that just a side project? I mean, he has a whole team on it.
I mean he has like 3, 4 projects he's running in parallel. Like that guy's a beast. And he goes to all these conferences and he's super nice, super nice. He's always like smiling and listening to you and giving you tips. And then, I mean, he's, like an early NFT guy. He was into apes. He's into punks. And he's the biggest German NFT, YouTuber, exists, right? So
Is he
that
doxxed
market,
on YouTube?
yeah, I mean, his face is absolutely dogs. Like,
Oh, cool.
he basically owns the German YouTube NFT market, basically. And from
Wow.
there, he's doing a couple of stuff.
Huh. That is good to know. Has he done a punks cast?
No, not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. But yeah, he went to a VCon. Yeah, he goes to all these conferences, and like if you go on his account, right, you see his face. So he's absolutely doxed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I'm happy to call him a friend. Like I remember when it was raining one afternoon in Lisbon, and we were like super tired. These conferences, your feet are just dead towards the end, and we just sat down on a couch and we're like just chatting. And it's kind of like once you meet in Paris and the next time you meet in Lisbon, it's kind of like a rolling friendship that goes on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. The conferences this year have made me do some further investigation into my footwear because I've got
Yeah,
kind of like cool shoes that are not necessarily the best walking or standing shoes.
yeah,
So I'm trying to find something that is cool but also comfortable. That or I could get some inserts, maybe some insoles because I think at those conferences I end up doing like 15 to 25,000 steps a day sometimes because I just like to walk and see the city, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. But by the way, maybe just a quick comment from my side on this Bitcoin NFT talk you guys were having. Like my point of view or my kind of thesis on NFTs is that on the long run, it doesn't matter which chain it will be. Like we should get to a point where it doesn't matter whether it's an ETH or a Bitcoin or a layer 2 ETH NFT. I really hope that in the long run, it's going to be like totally abstracted away from the user. And
Mhm.
so, I really think that, oh, like, I don't want to buy this Bitcoin NFT just because it's like a Bitcoin NFT. There should be really like more to it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I personally don't buy into the narrative of like,
yeah,
now that this NFT exists on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin one is the real one and the ETH one is not. I frankly would be shocked to see any of those ever flip the floors of
yeah,
the
the
OG
original ones,
ones.
of
But of
course, of
course,
course.
if the Bitcoin ordinals like stick around, the early ones, generally speaking, OG low token IDs or initial contracts or equivalent, you know, command high value. So I think there's definitely some quote fine art, as it were, to collect on that chain as well. But I agree with you, man. Like it's kind of like right now there's a million social media platforms, but like a post is a post, right?
Yep. And so my experience with, let's say, Bitcoin NFTs was maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know if you guys know Stacks, which is a kind of like a side chain of Bitcoin. So it's basically a smart contract layer of Bitcoin, whatever. And they had NFTs 2 years ago already, and I was like fiddling around with that because I have a friend super into that. But the confirmation time is 10 minutes, right? So whenever there's a mint or whenever you buy an NFT or whenever you sell one, like it's literally you have to fucking wait there for 10 minutes at least sometimes for 20, 30 minutes for it to confirm. So it really kind of takes the adrenaline out of this thing. And so I guess it's very similar with Bitcoin NFTs. It's not like, whereas ETH and Solana feel pretty much instant. You know, you go on OpenSea, you click the button and it's in your wallet. Whereas, you know, with Bitcoin, you just have to fucking wait 10 minutes. Like, so
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. 6529 posted a pretty good tweet like 2 weeks ago, and I frankly don't know what my answer to the question is. Um, it was something on the lines of like, if you were forced to hold, a significant position in a fungible token for a decade that wasn't Bitcoin or Ethereum, what would it be? And he goes on to say, like, this is a very hard question. And it is. Like, I don't know what my answer is. Like my mind kind of quickly gravitates towards like, okay, well, like Polygon has a very strong system, but I don't know, like maybe Arbitrum or Optimism or ZK Sync, which is coming soon. Those are the chains that kind of.
I remember that tweet actually. I remember looking at the comments, and some of the interesting ones I saw was USDC actually.
I don't know, even after the depegging debacle.
But just stable coins in general, right? Because the tweet is specifically on ERC-20, so it could be USDC for that matter. Because I mean, I do believe it's gonna get inflated away, but maybe at a less quick pace than some of these random coins. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't have any sizable bets in that department, but
Me neither. Yeah.
probably should. I should take like 5% of my portfolio and like put 1%, a fifth of it each, and something that I think could survive the next 10 years. Because even if you just get one of them, like, right,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big financial return. But that's a
I
hard bet
mean,
to make.
yeah. I would be inclined Solana at the moment. I've been looking into it a bit, but it would still be a gamble, at this point.
What's the thesis there, other than just general
Thesis,
activity?
thesis being, let's say twofold. My good friend that I trust, he's quite into it now, and he's buying bags there. And second of all, I played around a bit with NFTs there, and it's a really cool experience. Like it's the second highest NFT volume after ETH, and it's fairly usable. Like you don't, it's probably not as decentralized. But yeah, and then basically it's not an EVM chain, right? So it's not approaching it through layer 2 and stuff. So it's just the one layer 1. So if they manage to make that work, could be interesting.
Huh.
So
I
and
had something that I experienced. It was on Polygon that it was like a really pleasant user experience that I wasn't prepared for. And I'm probably going to butcher the specifics of what happened, but essentially I had received a payment in USDC on, I want to say it was on, yeah, Polygon. And I didn't have any like Polygon, like or Matic, to pay
yeah,
gas from the transaction, but I did have a bunch of USDC. So I was like, okay, in my mind, I had decided, let me move some funds over from another wallet. Like, I'll bridge it over and then, whatever, I'll have my gas that I needed. But what I found out was um, I basically didn't need to do any of that. Like, there was a way that I was able to instantaneously like drain some of my, call it like USDC while sending. So I was sending the USDC from a wallet to Coinbase, and I didn't have gas. And when I
yeah,
initiated the transaction, there was a way to like basically swap for gas using the USDC like instantaneously, all in one transaction or one confirmation rather for me. So I don't know how that worked, but um, basically, I think somebody else paid the gas for me so that then I could quickly pay them USDC and convert that into gas to pay them back for the gas or something. I don't know if that's some like atomic swap stuff happening or something else, but I was like pretty impressed from it because it saved all the headache of like bridging and swapping that you'd otherwise have to go through.
Guys, very happy to catch up with you. Is it every once a week or twice a week, the round table?
Mondays and Thursdays, same time.
Cool. So I'll talk to you on Thursday, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Have a
yeah. Thanks
good
for coming, man.
good Monday. Bye bye.
Bye.
So yeah, I mean, Valko, shall we be wrapping soon as well?
Yeah, I think so. If anybody in the crowd has any good topic ideas for Thursday, let us know. I'm definitely keen to maybe do a session on like inscriptions and ordinals. I think that's pretty cool. I think this whole topic of like which chains do we believe in besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, you could talk about that for like hours. That could be a really fun panel to curate if we could get some like your friend who's like big into soul on here. Maybe some people that like know a lot about Polygon and what's happening there. And then the ZK stuff, because that's obviously coming very soon.
Yep, yep. And also maybe the lens stuff we talked earlier as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Should
we
be
got some
cool.
yeah, we got some good ideas for the next one. Well, everybody, thank you for joining. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you guys on Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Valko. Thanks, everyone. Ciao,
All
cacao.
right. Ciao.